platform where we speak truth to power. Been away for a few days again. I have to manage things. When I can, I do come on live as much as I can. But I'm opportune to come out now. And I thought, okay, you know what? Whilst I'm out, try and make this broadcast. Um, there's something that I want to say to all of us, and those of you who will watch later on, please do take the time to watch and share. I think we have to be very, very clear about one thing, and that is this: if we are expecting anything to change because of the new administration coming in on the 29th of May, then we are kidding ourselves. Let us be very, very clear about that. We are just simply kidding ourselves. Nothing will change. Good morning, and welcome on board. Please help us share your watches is the network, the platform where we speak through the power. The topic today is that really I want us to really share this topic. We have to participate in our governance. That is the most important thing right now for us. It doesn't mean we've forgotten Yoruba Nation. Please don't get me wrong. I haven't forgotten Yoruba Nation. Yoruba Nation is something that we need to achieve. But without, please give us thumbs up, like, share, hit notification button to reach as many people as possible. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that. Help us share it. We need to participate in our governance. That is the only way. That is the only way we can make a change. And it's very, very important that we take that on board and begin to, I- it's very, very important that we begin to understand that for too long. You see, this is why I've been saying it. The churches and the mosques, they have all been designed to what? To distract us from ever holding those in office to account. They keep telling you to say amen. Just say Adura. If you pray, you'll be okay. That's not the point. Nothing has been achieved with the prayers, and that is what's been born out now. Sorry, 1 minute. Nothing has been achieved with the prayers, and that is what is being born out now. Nothing has been achieved by the prayers that you prayed. Those of you that have prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, the prayer has come to naught. It's come to zero. So what I want us all to really to begin to do, again, what I want us all to begin to do is to recognize that participation, participation in the local government is the only solution. As stated, I have information on it. I have information for each and every local government area. I have the monthly allocation for each and every local government area. Indeed, I am chasing for the last 3 months from January to March of the financial year just gone. We need that information. And these are the kind of things we need to be chasing. If we do not take that step, nothing will change. So I'm here to really urge you that it's very important. It is really, really important that we begin to um, participate in our governance, begin to really question those who elected to office. And we need to get used to doing that now in preparation for when we get Yoruba Nation. Because many people want to go for Yoruba Nation. I get it. You want Yoruba Nation. But if you are not already questioning those who are in government now, you cannot get anything. If you are just depending on somebody to somebody from up on high, Jesus Christ or Muhammad to help you to get your Yoruba nation, or and not start doing the work. That's why I keep talking about doing the work right now. The work that we must do right now is to participate in our governance, encourage our people to hold those elected officials, hold them to account, begin to question them, begin to demand for the things that we want. I don't- Begin to hold those who elect to office to account. It is really, really important. I cannot overemphasize that point enough. That um, many people we talk about what the politicians are doing. I want us to keep asking ourselves in our communities, what are we doing? What are we doing in our communities right now? What are we doing in our communities right now to address the issues, the injustice? the non-functioning uh, lack of infrastructure. If you want infrastructure in your community, there's one thing you must do. It needs your participation. It needs you to participate in your governance. It doesn't need you to go to church to any church or any mosque and pray. I'm going to tell you that now for nothing. Going to any church and any mosque to pray, to pray that, oh, maybe somebody, the gods will get, most high will get to the mind of the politicians and they will do the right thing. They will never do the right thing. I'm here to tell you that they will never, ever, ever, they will never, ever do the right thing because they don't want to. What must happen, what must happen is that we, the citizens, must begin to learn and understand that we have the powers to hold them to account and use those powers. We have to use those powers. That is what has been lacking in our plans and deliberations today. So I really want us to understand that. We all have to understand that participation. My goal, every broadcast that I do, you will notice for the last few weeks now, my broadcast has been asking a question. I always ask that question. Are you participating in your governance? And if you cannot answer that question, then you need to start taking steps. By participation, I mean you hold your governance to account. You decide that, okay, these guys, they need to be held to account. And it is your right, it is your duty. You have the power. Let me show you what I mean. A second, I'm just going to go. You all know what I do here. Sometimes see the reason why. And for those of you who may be wondering, why am I, for those of you who may be wondering, why am I sitting on a scooter, mobility scooter? I use the mobility scooter together because I have issues with my mobility. Oh, oh, sorry. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah. So we're on the road again. You just stop for a second. So for those of you who may be wondering, oh, what is oh, what's up? Are you? I use a mobility scooter to get around. I can walk for a little bit. I can walk around. I can walk around for a little bit. But for long distance, owing to car accidents that I had some years back, it's limited my ability to walk far. So I'm mobile. I can do everything. I can walk. I can move. I can get up. But I'm in pain. So to make things easier for me, if I'm going to go for long distance, I have a mobility scooter. That's part of who I am. It's taking me a while to adjust to that. I have to be honest with you. It's taking me a bit of time to actually accept that, okay, I have mobility scooter and I use that to get around, to do the things I need to do. But it is part of my life. I mean, I wish, of course, like anybody else, you wouldn't want to have any car accident happening to you and everything else. But this is what it is now, and I make the most of what I can today. But like I said, my focus is very much to do what I can to play my own part in encouraging us to begin to participate in our governance. And the very fact that I'm doing what I'm doing now makes me appreciate that the things that I enjoy in my community, well, they were all things that the people did collectively together. Morning, hi there, hi, all right, yeah, all right, hi. Yeah, yeah, you too. All right, cheers, see you. So, so what I'm trying to do is make people understand that we must participate. If you are going to any church, I'm going to keep saying it. If you are going to any church, oh, oh sorry, you want to say no? Yeah, yeah, I know. I know, yeah, I. So if you want to go to any, if you are going to a church and you're going to a mosque, thinking that by praying in a mosque or a church, that you will get infrastructure, I'm here to tell you that you will never get the infrastructure by going to any church and any mosque to pray. All you will simply do, or you give money to the church and the mosque, all you will simply do is all of you cash that you could use to mandate and live in themselves to find church, and they make you focus on the church and the mosque instead of you focusing on how to make sure that your own community is something that is going to work for you. Ask yourself this question: is your community working for you right now? Is it working for you? Ask yourself that question. If it is working for you and you don't have a problem and you think it's okay, then fine, great. But if your community is not working for you, if your community is not serving you, if your community is leaving you enslaved in your land, then that means that you really have to consider and make changes to how you do things. Right? You have to make consider and make changes to how you do things. You have to do that. You cannot continue to think that by you not participating in your governance, thinking that once you elect, that's another mistake we make. Once we elect somebody into office, we always make this mistake. We seem to think, oh, they are in office now. That means that, oh, they will do what they're supposed to do. They won't. They are not going to do what they're supposed to do because it's human nature. They will avoid doing the work they're supposed to do at all costs. They will do everything to avoid doing what they're supposed to do at all costs, which is to make sure that they provide you with infrastructure, water, right, road, schools, bridges. They will do everything to avoid it. And that is why we are here to try and tell you that your participation in your governance is your main task right now. Please don't misunderstand me. By me saying you should participate in your governance, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't stop working for Yoruba Nation. No. If anything, it is preparing the ground for you to go for Yoruba Nation. If anything. So we all know that on the 29th of May, Tinubu is going to be sworn in as the president. I'm telling you, nothing is going to change that. And many people are not, they don't understand. People seem to think, oh, we're just saying, okay, just uh, just give up. No, the reality, we have to face the reality. The reality is those who are in power now, they are going to work. They will they will inaugurate Tinubu into office because that is what the election has done so far. The election has shown that, and they will accept that. They will have to deal with that from that point of view. I, they will have to, you know, one- they will have to. What's the word? One minute. They have to accept that fact. Tinubu is the next president of Nigeria. It's not what I want as a Yoruba man. I'm being funny, very, very, very clear with you. It is not what I want as a Yoruba man at all. It is far from it. It's not what I think should happen. But the reality is, the reality is, whether we like it or not, Tinubu is going to be the next president of Nigeria. So what you need to be focusing on now, look, Tinubu being the president of Nigeria is not going to fix your local community. Your rules in your local community will not be fixed because Tinubu is the president. The only thing that will fix your community is when you begin to hold those we elected to office to account. You know? Hello? Hello? You want to say hello? Okay. All right. Okay. 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 Hello. Hello. I can see yes, friendly. Yes. Hi. Oh, I see. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. You want to say hello? Okay. 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 Oh, gosh. It's very friendly. Take care now. Okay. All right. So if you see me now, that was me saying hello to a little dog on the side. A Dalmatian. On as I'm going heading back now. Um, what I want us all to above all do is in every community, you need to know something. I'm going to read something to you now, and I'll say it, and I said it in my broadcast, and I hope by me saying it now, many people will know it offhand. I want you to know section 14 2A offhand. And it goes like this: sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. So I want you to bear that in mind. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. So let me say that again to you one more time. One more time. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That is something that each and every one of us must have. We need to have that, and you need to know it often, because that tells you that in effect, what does that mean? Let's dissect what it means. What it means is that all 774 local government areas are sovereign land. They are sovereign land. So everybody that's living within that land, they have the power. It's the power from the 774 local government areas that is combined by our government to govern the nation on behalf of those to whom the sovereignty belongs, you and I. It's very important we understand that. It's very important we understand that concept and try and ensure that we do not allow ourselves to be silent. For too long, we've been silent. For way too long, we have been silenced, and we've been prevented from talking about what is really happening and how the injustice has gone on. Many of us do not know that section. Many of us are not aware of that section that I just read now. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Once again, I'll remind you the section is called Section 14.2a. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That is the fact that you need to hold on to. So that's section 14.2a. 14.2c now, the participation of the people in the government shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. The participation of the people in their governance shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. And what constitution is that? It's the 1999 constitution. Yes, we know it's a fraudulent constitution. We know we need a referendum. We need it started in there. And by participating in government, you can actually now put forward a process whereby the there is a process in which a referendum will take place. But if you are not participating in it, if you do not participate in your government beginning to hold those who elect you to office to account, then you cannot make any changes. And like I said, the election is just one side of the job of the citizens. The other side of the job for the citizens is to ensure that we hold those who elect to office to account. We are currently not doing it. We are currently not doing it. We have never ever held those we elected to office to account. And how do we hold them to account? We get them to come and explain to us where the money meant for our roads, our light, our water, our bridges, our hospitals. We have the right to question and ask them where that money has gone. And they must provide answers. And that is what we are trying to encourage as many of us to begin to do. To not relent, to not tire, but instead to begin to work within each community. There is something called a monthly allocation that is released that meant to be going to each of the local government areas. That monthly allocation has never been used for infrastructure by those you elected into office. And because we have not participated in governance, it has meant that they've taken the money and they've looted that money. And we have never had the infrastructure. They've taken the money and they give it to their girlfriends. They bought houses abroad. They send their kids to school and private school abroad with our money. So you can now see that our participation in our governance is the only solution. It's not about praying to any God. It's not about praying to any Allah. It's not about praying to Jesus or to Muhammad or to beg. Our lack of participation in our governance is harming the lives of ourselves, our coming generations, and it's resulting in us not having hospitals, not having roads, not having water, not having light. We need to participate in our governance. And that's why I talk about the section 42A. It goes like this: sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and and authority. That is section 42A. That is something that we need to know of here. All right, nice little book. Thank you. Yeah. So we need to be able to read that off head. Let me read that to you again. Section 42A in the 1999 Constitution. Yes, I know it's a fraudulent constitution, but we can still use the powers within it. And I want us all to begin. Everybody watching this broadcast now or later on, please share. Tell everybody you know. Section 42A. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That means that all 774 local government areas are sovereign. They are sovereign. And that's the people within it are the ones who the sovereignty belongs to. So, as a collective, you can stand together. One thing I will say to you: never go and question any of the officials on your own. This has to be something that must be done community by community, community by community. I want to encourage you all to never ever give up. That sovereignty, it gives us the power over our governance, and we need to use it. The people we elect into office, they are answerable to us. Now, section 14(2)(c) goes on to say the participation of the people in their governance shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. What constitution is it talking about? It's talking about section 1999 constitution. Again, please remember, I am well aware the 1999 constitution is fraudulent in many respects. It is not. We the people did not sign it. This was an imposition by the military. But what we can do is the powers within it, we can use it to hold them to account. And that is the object of the discussion this morning, to encourage as many of us. As the 29th of May is fast approaching, we are about 7 days away. Today is the 22nd. 7 days away from the inauguration of Tinubu as the president of Nigeria, and whoever else. And make no mistake, Tinubu will be inaugurated as president, and they will make an arrangement among themselves, and they would everything will be sorted out, and he will be the president. But what is important in this, for you to know, the fact that Tinubu or anybody, let's even say for argument's sake, that Peter Obi is suddenly made, he wins the appeal and is made the president. Let's say make that. Let's even say he does that, and it's highly unlikely. It is not going to fix your roads. The fact anybody elected into office, be it Atiku, be it be it Peter Obi, and for me, it is most likely that Tinubu is going to be the president. That will not mean that you get the roads, the water, the light, the schools, the bridges you want within your community. You have to work within your community. And that is why your participation within your own community is essential. And that is what many of us have ignored. I am not one of those people that will walk away and tell you, oh, just blame the government alone. Yes, the government shoulder a huge amount of responsibility for what is going on. But we have not played our part because they deliberately prevented us from knowing this right. That is why. That is why I am here encouraging as many people as possible to begin to question our governance, hold them to account, because we have that power. As flawed as that 1999 constitution is, those two sections that I read to you, section 14(2)(a, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Section 14(2)(a. That is a powerful piece of clause. That's a powerful section in the 1999 constitution that we can use to hold them to account, because we can tell them no. If they say no, 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 they say no, this is within the constitution, and we show them, and they have to abide by that. because they are answerable to us. Then the second part of it is the 42C, which talks about the participation of the people in their governance shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Again, the constitution they're talking about is the 1999 constitution. And that those two powers we need to pull together and use it to hold those we elect into office to account. Please don't forget, as you're watching this, hit subscription button, hit notification button, give us a thumbs up, help us reach more people. Let us, leave a comment, and please, above all, we want the people, we want the people to please get used to questioning. We have to get used to questioning those we elect into office. They are serving us. They serve the people. As a citizen, those you elect to office, they're supposed to serve you. Don't bother about who the next Senate president is going to be, who the next president is going to be. Don't. Your focus is how are you going to make sure that whoever is in power, whoever is elected into office, how are you going to ensure that you hold them to account? How are you going to make sure you teach everybody about Section 42A, Section 42C, that every community knows about those two sections? Because that is the only way we will be able to get the infrastructure, the water, the light, the road, the schools, the bridges, the hospital, the healthcare that we need. It's not about who's in power. It's about how we exercise the powers that we possess within that 1999 constitution. So I'm here to really state that again. I want us all to continue to really spread this message. I know it's a very unpopular message. It is not me coming here to tell you, oh, yes, God will do this. I'm not giving you empty promises. I am giving you facts. I'm not here to tell you what the government is doing or what the government is not doing or what that one is not doing. I'm here to ask you, are you participating in your government? Are you participating? If you're not participating, and that applies to all of us, particularly on ground, those who know. We take this as our time to say to those of you who are in every community, you have to be a member of the local community association, local community association. You have to be a member. You have to become a member of your local community association as a matter of urgency. Because the more of you that come and participate in it, the better the chance of you having infrastructure in your local community. I am giving you the blueprint. I am giving you the blueprint for achieving the much needed infrastructure, the much needed roads, water, lights, bridges, healthcare, safety within your community. No one person can do it alone. If you all join your local community association, you now walk around the area, pinpoint the areas that are failing, the things that you're missing. You now, at the same time, also, let me say this: on a month by month basis, there is something called the monthly allocation. You need to know. Every community must know that there is a monthly allocation that is being sent, that is being paid by the federal government to the local government area, but the state is sitting on that money. So you can go and question and find out. For example, I gave I did one for um, adult daughter the other day. The 10 months payment, monthly allocation. So far outstanding, they paid the ones for March, January, February, and March, but they have not put the figures in the National Bureau of Statistics. So I've been chasing them on that to provide that so that we can have this information. These are information that we need. I'm sorry, you don't need the Bible. I'm sorry, you don't need the Quran. I'm sorry, all of those things are distractions because they're not going to provide you with water and light and roads and schools and bridges. They will not provide that to you. So I'm here to awaken us to really make sure that we understand that we really have the powers to make this change. And one of the things that I would really suggest that we do as a matter of urgency, of utmost urgency, is to begin to share this kind of message. Please give us a thumbs up as you're watching, hit notification button, give us, and share and leave a comment on this broadcast. The broadcast is about encouraging and ensuring that we, the people, participate in our governance. That is the only way that is going to give us water, light, road, school, bridges, healthcare, safety, security. That is the only way. Nothing else will do it. There is nothing else that will give you these things. And I want us all to really understand that by doing programs like this, we are trying to raise the level of awareness. You must what? Participate in your governance. You must what? Participate in your governance. You must what? Participate in your governance. And how do you participate? You participate by ensuring it is your job. It is each of our responsibility to go now. Now you have the information for the national, for the monthly application. Every local government must have that information, and every local government area, every community association, they must know how much money per month was awarded to them from the federal accounts allocation committee. Every local government must know that, because that way you know how much you came in. You can now go and question, and you are justified in questioning those you elect into office, because the constitution states under section 14(2)(a), sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government through this constitution derives all its powers and authority. You have that power to demand for the monthly allocation, to know the amount, and you have the power to contact the National Bureau of Statistics, every community, and tell them, ask them where's the money, where is the fund, how much was they should provide it for your local government area, because you need that information, so that when you go and speak to your councillor, when you go and speak to your local government chairman, when you go and speak to your state house of assembly member, when you speak to your house of reps, when you speak to your senators, you can question them. I cannot overemphasize how important this is for us all to understand. We cannot, under any circumstances, we cannot, under any circumstances, continue to believe that it's prayer that will solve this. No prayer will build just infrastructure. I repeat, no prayer will build any infrastructure for you. No prayer will build roads for you. No prayer will build schools for your children. No prayer will build you the hospital that you need. No prayer. Zero prayer. What will do it is you knowing how much comes to your local government area. Like I said, I have the information for all 704 local government areas. I can tell you, I can tell you for definite how much each of the local government areas are supposed to have received. The money is being sat on by the state government. It is being sat on by the state government. And I want to make sure that we encourage each other to participate in our governance. By participating, you now go and demand for those funds. And you not only demand, you tell them this is how much came in. We want the money for our roads, for our water, for our bridges. If you take the councillor, the local government chairman, you do a walk around. You demand that they come to your community to see the bad infrastructure. Because they keep saying there's no money. There is money. They're literally. So, so there is money. And my job is to try and encourage you to know that you possess that power to hold these people to account. And I'm wanting as many of us as possible, to begin to really, as many of us, to really um, take part in this process. If you are just saying, oh, the state government, the local government, the government, the nation, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. The reason why they're not doing what they're supposed to do is because we, the people, we've been trained not to hold them to account, as stated in the Constitution. In the Constitution, we're supposed to hold them to account, but we have not held them to account. And I'm here to try and tell you that we must hold them to account. We must begin to play our part. We have never, since 1999, none of us as citizens has played our proper role as citizens in our governance. Our job as as the general overseer, you are a general overseer of the nation. You need to participate in that process. You need to hold those we elected to office to account. And we are here to show you how to do it. I'm going to come back again on the live broadcast and talk about it. But I want to emphasize this. Whatever these people are doing, oh, they're making a big noise. Oh, yes, the Senate, they're all trying to be Senate president. I want to be this. I want to be the deputy. I want to be the this. I want to be that. They are doing that because they know up to now that we, the citizens, we have never ever held them to account. And they've trained us to never ever hold them to account. But those of us who are in the know, many of us who have gone abroad, we've now seen how governance works. We now know that governance is not about just electing somebody alone. It is about also we, those who elected, played a big role of monitoring the actions of those we elected to office. Our job is to monitor their actions. Our job is to begin to hold them to account, to question them, to hold their feet to fire and tell them, look, we put you in the election, we elected into office to do X, Y, and Z, to fix our roads, to fix our water, to fix our schools, to fix our bridges, to fix our healthcare. And you have done none of it. And we have the right to hold you to account. We have the right to make sure that you provide us a breakdown of where the money allocation from the federal government to the local government, where he has gone. We must begin to do this. Please, there is no other option for us. As far as I see it, there is no other option for us than we begin that process, that we actively hold these people to account. Because anything else that we do, anything else that we do, other than participating in our governance, is a waste of our time. And I don't want us to go wasting our time. Yes, you can watch programs online. Yes, you can talk and lament. Yes, if you want to go to church, or the mosque, go to the mosque. But you need to spend an upwards of 20 to 30 hours now. I recommend that every citizen begins to spend 20 to 30 hours a week focused on participating in our governance within our communities. We need to do that because that is the only way we can change the system. If all of us are doing that, if only one or two are doing it, it's not going to work. We all must participate. We have to participate in our governance. The roads, the water, the light, the school, if you haven't got it in your community, you need to join in. Yes, one of the things you need to do. If you haven't got water, you haven't got road, you haven't got light, you haven't got schools, you haven't got bridges in your community, one of the first things you must do is to download or have the constitution on your phone. The section 14.2a, section 14.2c. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria from whom the government, through its constitution, derives all its powers and authority. You need to have that. 14.2c. The participation of the people in the governance shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Those two, you definitely need those two because once you have that, because that information now knows that it empowers you in your community to now go and hold those we elected to office to account. You are now empowered. You now know that you have the power to hold those we elected to office to account. Because that without that power, you cannot do anything. There is no prayer that will build roads for you. There is no prayer in the church or mosque that will give you roads, water, light, school, healthcare, safety, and security. But if you know the constitution, if you know section 42A, 42C, you now use that to hold and demand for the monthly allocation. The monthly allocation to now come to your local area. You use that to demand for the monthly allocation for you meant for your local area to come to your local area. You could hold your and all your politicians, they are answerable to you. All your politicians. Now, the reason I'm saying all of this, I'm not saying it because I think, oh, Like Yoruba nation is not going to come. Yoruba nation is not going to come. Believe me, it is going to come. I am confident to tell you that the first place to start right now, like I said, Tinubu is going to be the next president in literally days, 7 days. Today's political. Tinubu is going to be president on the 29th of May. I'm telling you now that Tinubu being a president will not mean that you have infrastructure. Suddenly in your community you will have infrastructure. Peter Obi being a president will not mean that suddenly you will have infrastructure. Anybody telling you that Peter Obi or Tinubu or Atiku being the president will not suddenly mean that you have infrastructure in your community. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. And I'm here to try and hopefully wake us up. I'm hoping that we can recognize that the things that we need to do are very, very important for us to do to take on. I'm almost at the end of the broadcast now, but I'm just trying to really emphasize one or two things, to be honest. And the one or two things I'm trying to emphasize is this: we have to participate in our governance. We have to participate in our governance. And I will come back and I will do that on a daily basis. And I can give you examples of how you can do that on a day-to-day basis. You can participate on a daily basis in your governance. You can hold those you elect into office to account. You must participate in your governance. And I want to urge you to please do not, under any circumstances, relent in this process. So please, the number one task for us all, participate, participate, participate in your programs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put a stop to it here. You've been watching the network. The platform will speak to our foundation. Thank you, and bye for now.